Hello everyone! Welcome back to Dreaming Angel Tarot. It's been a while since I've done a reading. It's been like maybe a couple months, if not more, and I've missed it, but I've been really busy. I finally found some time today to sit down and just do a really open-ended reading today. Just wanted to take a soft approach and just see what Spirit has to say to those who are listening. And it's raining here. It's really pretty. It's one of those overcast days. Quiet afternoon. Everything looks green outside my window. So I'm just going to do a very calm, relaxing reading today, I hope. Something tranquil. So I want you to take a look at these piles. I've got 3 piles today, and again the question is, what do you need to know right now? I'm going to talk a little bit about maybe your current circumstance, some challenges or lessons you're moving through, and just see what the cards have to say about any advice or potential outcomes. Just want to see what's going on. I don't know if you can hear the thunder. So take a look at the piles as they are. This is 1, 2, 3. And if you want to decide with the piles turned over, with the cards turned over like that, go ahead and decide. And in a moment, I'm going to reveal what each card says. And if you prefer, you can pick your pile through the front-facing side of the card. So again, this is 1, 2, 3. Now let's see what pile 1 is. Pile 1 is compassion, number 15 of this Activations Oracle book. It's the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle book. Pile 2 is emergence, 25. And pile 3 is realization, 37. So again, we've got 3 piles, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, for what you need to know right now. So if you're in pile 1, stick around. If you're in pile 2 or 3, check out the timestamps below, and I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. All right. The Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle card you drew was compassion, number 15. It says, the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. So right off the bat, there's 2 situations in my personal life that this calls to mind, and I'm going to share them with you because maybe one of them resonates, and if these situations fit, or just if this card, the word compassion, resonates with you, or maybe the number 15 is a significant number for you, then you're in the right pile. But I was thinking of a situation in my life where I'm being stretched a little bit because I'm being called to give more care to somebody in my life, and help them through a difficult time. And sometimes it can be really frustrating. And there's sometimes a tendency to get frustrated when the situation feels very helpless as well, and you want that person to do more, maybe to help themselves, but it stretches your compassion, and at the end of the day, you have a bigger heart because you're more appreciative and wiser about the human experience and the complexities of it and everything we have to learn here on Earth. And so sometimes when you're in that kind of pressured situation, or you're being stretched, or you feel like you don't know why this is happening, and you don't feel like you have much of a choice, or there's a helpless quality to it, I think that can, at the end of the day, be something that teaches us compassion. The second thing that came into my mind is I was thinking of another challenging situation where, someone in your life that you're dealing with, for me this is a different situation, but maybe there's someone in your life who you kind of are forced to deal with because of like work or circumstances out of your control. Maybe they're close to you, neighbor, family, friend, and they're difficult, and you find it unpleasant, to be around them and to talk to them. And one thing, this says it supports our ability to stand by others without judgment. And it made me think about how something that takes away, the unpleasantness of that and the anxiety around that is to remember to try not to judge that person for where they're at. And surprisingly, if you take away judgment from the situation and try to refocus on how you feel, and just think about your own feelings, but just kind of accept the other person for where they're at, it shifts the frame of your emotions a little bit and puts the power back into your camp, and that other person doesn't have so much control. So ironically, by not judging them, not being critical of them, you're able to actually find more power and control in the situation. But again, yet another experience in our lives that will call on us to have compassion. So I'm wondering if this pile, if there's an interpersonal issue going on in your life, something to do with relationships, or even like, just being frustrated or disappointed about the world right now, or something like that. This is feeling to me maybe like a conflict of some kind is maybe what I'm getting. But okay, I'm gonna move on now and look at the cards. I'm gonna put compassion over here on this. Okay, so we got judgment in reverse for kind of the theme of what you're dealing with. Like, what is the subject? What's going on? This would lead me to believe that one of the big themes of this struggle or of this experience has to do with we were talking about judgment in the first reading, so it has to do with like not using your human, normal, logical, rational judgment about the situation, but truly surrendering a little bit to circumstances that may be out of your control, and learning from that. When the Judgment card is upright, this is about surrender to kind of your calling. This is about listening to the calls of the angels. It's an exciting, life-giving card. In the reverse, there's a feeling that like you really need to surrender, and that there may be a bit more difficulty to this circumstance than if it was upright. There's a feeling of maybe a fraught energy here, is what I'm getting so far. Okay, for the current circumstance, I got the Empress reversed. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the next one too. And this one came out kind of reluctantly, the Magician reversed. So this is the challenge card, and it felt like it was a little hesitant to come out. It was kind of timid. So I decided to do reversals for this reading, but so far all of your cards have actually come up in the reverse, which is okay. That's what this is here for. So I would say your current circumstance is you're just not feeling like yourself. You're not feeling abundant. You're not feeling fertile. You're not feeling like you're like in the flow. You're not feeling in touch with yourself. This is a card of maybe a discomfort of some kind. And with the Magician reversed as well, it feels like maybe the challenge is that you're not quite in touch with that creative spark or creative energy within you either, or your ability to like manifest your future or determine outcomes in your life or set intentions that seem to be working out. Again, there's something about this reading so far that leads me to believe that there's a frustrating situation where you're being pulled out of your element a little bit. When the Empress is upright, she's really in her power, and she does feel fertile, she feels abundant, she feels creative, she feels beautiful and worthy, and she's really in her power, and it's a Venusian power. But with it being reversed, she's not feeling in touch with that right now. And she's not getting the nourishment she needs. Maybe not even feeling strong. There could be something physical going on here, actually. Either with yourself or others, somebody else in your life, like maybe like a physical ailment, an illness, something that makes life really difficult, that you're working through. So the message from Spirit here, this is where it really gets good, is the Hermit. The Hermit is all about following inner wisdom and listening to the small, still voice within, and gaining wisdom and solitude through your own self-reflection, sort of apart from conventional wisdom, apart from a community situation, apart from what others say. This is being a sage. Absolutely here, without a doubt, you're growing in wisdom through this situation. And I want to say that you may feel alone in this situation in some way. Maybe you're either going through a discomfort on your own and no one else can like really understand what it's like, or only you are dealing with a challenging situation outside of you. But in some way, the world and spirit is placing you in a position where you're really having to listen to yourself and listen to your own inner compass and your own inner heart and in your own heart, and no one else can really be there with you in it. You're alone in this circumstance. But this feels very much like something that is helping you learn. And then, let's see. And then some more messages from Spirit. Oh no, I'm sorry. Scratch that. This is another lesson that's coming out. You had 2 lessons that came out. I haven't looked at any of these yet. So yeah, the fact that you had 2 lesson cards come out when I was drawing your cards makes me think that 1, this is indeed a difficult, challenging time, and 2, that this is really there to teach you something. It's interesting that we have the Hermit and the Hierophant, because these are both the sort of spiritual or like religious cards. These are both about seeking higher wisdom through some sort of a means. And I would say with the Hermit, it's about seeking higher wisdom and meaning and understanding through solitude and sort of the more mystic path or the philosophical path. The Hierophant is about seeking wisdom, meaning, understanding, lessons through an institution or a structure, like a religious kind of structure or belief system. I feel, looking at these, first of all, that this is crazy. Your reading only has major arcana so far. And so absolutely, not only is this quite a challenging time, one of pressure, but this is a very significant, life-changing time for you. What I'm feeling is that the pressure of the situation and the discomfort of it and the feeling of like incredible surrender that you're having to face is causing you to go within and find your inner wisdom in a way that you never have before. And that will lead you into either a spiritual or religious practice, a new belief, a new kind of way you ritualize your daily life. This is going to introduce you to something really special that's going to come in that connects you to meaning, and meaning through structure, and meaning through a tradition of some kind, a spiritual tradition of some kind. The Hierophant is very much those things in life where we have roles, we have structure there to serve us, and it's passed down through generations because our ancestors dealt with all of these same archetypal issues in their lives, all of these same rites of passage, all of these same challenges. Ours are really no different, even though we might have, new technology and sort of new kind of philosophies, but these traditions are there because they transcend the moment. And your search for meaning and wisdom that you're thrust into because of this discomfort and this pressure is going to lead you into a new source of light, a new source of enlightenment or illumination, or you're going to find a new path, or even join a new organization or group, or don a new kind of identity from this that's going to take you further. And it's going to enrich your life. And you're going to feel so grateful for having this new extra kind of umbrella of understanding and perspective. It really is growing you and growing your character. There was one more card that came out. The message from Spirit was the Four of Pentacles, which is really interesting. I think stay grounded right now. I mean, this is a little bit of an extension of what I was saying before, where this is actually going to create a new belief system in your life, or a new discovery that takes you to the next level, or it's going to implement the structure in your life. Spirit is asking you to, I think, to create more structure and to embrace ways of really being honest with yourself and your circumstances and what you need and how you're spending your time and your resources. This is the only practical card that has come out of this whole pile. Everything else is super intense spiritual major arcana, and this is the only minor arcana card, and it's the Spirit card. It's the message from Spirit. It's the advice from God, and it's such a kind of mundane card compared to all of these, more transcendent spiritual messages. And it's one of simplicity. It's one of just getting grounded, protecting your resources, and in this time where you're being pressured, focus on what you have and be grateful for what you have. I mean, there's been times in my life where I'm just realizing, like, it could be worse, And this is asking you to get real with, like, what do I have to work with right now? And how can I stretch that, and just how can I get creative about my minimal capacity right now? So it's asking you to think that way. It's asking you to get practical about your resources. It's asking you to get grounded. It's asking you to think about the details of your life, or the details of the situation. What cards do you have in your hands that you could play, like, it's asking you to look a little bit at the material and sort of, the material aspect of your life. And I think when you get grounded in that, you'll find a new kind of freedom and empowerment. There's something freeing too about becoming aware of our own limitations. Sort of like, I'm good at this thing, but I'm not really good at this thing. Or I only have so many hours that I can get work done. Or I only know so much about this subject and I can't really help someone beyond that. You know, maybe I need to do something else. Or, I mean, it's like, or even something as simple as like your health. There's something very freeing about realizing like, I do not have infinite amounts of energy. I need to get sleep every night. I need to make sure I'm eating right. I mean, I can't, like, I'm not a superhuman person. I have to nourish myself. That helps us refocus sometimes on what's important, especially during a trying time. And I would say there's something about this card that is speaking to looking at the positives of a situation and reframing and shifting your perspective through that. What do I have? And becoming aware of your limitations, becoming aware of what you do have. And that in combination with this kind of new structure that I think might enter your life, I think you're going to find empowerment. And this is not going to last forever. Let me get one more card from Spirit. I want to know, how long is this situation going to last? Like, what is the future here? Like, what is the time thing on this? Okay. It's a little bit, I got the Two of Pentacles, so there's something that's still a little up in the air about this, but it actually could shift pretty quickly. And the number 2 isn't much. I mean, so that's something that since it's a smaller number, the feeling is that this is not a super long, lengthy, drawn out experience you're going through. I think it's more that it's just tricky and that there's kind of stuff that's up in the air. But this is making me feel like just with slight adjustments, it's kind of going to become something that is second nature or light to deal with and actually not so cumbersome or burdensome. And that things could, this doesn't feel like this is gonna be, I don't get the feeling that there's just like years and years and years of this in your future. Like this feels like something that, yeah, is not necessary. I don't think the question is like how long this is gonna last from getting this card, but I feel like you're kind of learning the lesson of this, and this is not, you're kind of through the worst of it, or you've reached a point where you figured out how to deal with this better and you're mastering it. And you found balance, or you will find balance. So, compassion. I just want to look at this one more time. The word compassion derives from the Latin words cum, meaning with, or together, and pati, meaning to suffer. So to suffer with, or to suffer together. Compassion can be described as the act of sharing in or being with another's struggle or suffering. Oftentimes, it includes the desire to alleviate this discomfort through benevolent action, sensitive understanding, and warm support. I'm going to just read this last little bit here. It says, take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment. move your awareness to your heart. Think about all the people that you love and the gifts that they bring to your life. Now move your awareness to the people who challenge you. Can you see the gifts that they bring to you? Even when we have fraught relationships with other people, you know, they teach us a psychological lesson, and actually they can show us who we are and what our values are. I know in my relationship where I have a difficult relationship, it's shown me what my values are and what I really care about and how I'm different from others in a very much more stark way that's made me appreciate my own uniqueness and identity that much more. And with the knowledge of my value system in my heart, I can move forward and make better decisions too. So that sharp, harsh shadow, you know, really shows us a lot. And sometimes people are just the worst. Like sometimes they don't realize how they're acting. And I find oftentimes with people like that, more often than not, you will find other people feel the same way too. You're not alone. And sometimes it helps to commiserate a little bit with others or just get validation that like other people might be experiencing the same frustration. So again, I really feel like the situation you're going through right now, I know this is a kind of drawn out message, but I think your situation right now is either with another person in your life, or it's a situation in which there's sort of, you're being constricted in some way. I think it's like, it could be physically, it could be like materially, but you're being squeezed, and I feel like you might be going through an illness, or somebody in your life might be going through some sort of an illness or like a difficulty, like a handicap or an injury or something like that. And, you know, or you're just in a stuck place just because of circumstances beyond your control. But this is very much a situation in your life that is happening to you. You didn't cause this, you didn't bring it about. This is just one of those life things that we move through. And you've had to really learn how to just completely surrender. And not only have you learned compassion for others through this, but you've gained more compassion for yourself through also just recognizing your own humanity and your own limitations, and just getting a little bit more grounded of like what you are capable of. I mean, boundaries. This is the Four of Pentacles is the card, I feel like, of boundaries almost. You know, this is what I can control. This is what, you know, I can't. This is sort of where I draw the line. There's something here where maybe you expect yourself to be so powerful and transcendent and magical all the time, and like just in this kind of like divine perfect version of self state. And this is telling you like that's not where you're going to gain your wisdom. You're going to gain your wisdom through some sort of like this difficulty, because it's going to teach you some tools you can use in your life that will actually, like, through this kind of groundedness and centeredness, structure, you're going to find, I think, a deeper and an even more meaningful, grounded connection to spirituality and to your potential. You're going to discover a new ethics or belief system or guidebook of like the way to live your life, like a new philosophy of daily life. And I don't know what that is, but it's gonna be really beautiful, and it's gonna like make things so much simpler for you, I think. And this is all a process from just completely surrendering to some of these limitations that happen and finding wisdom in that, and then finding freedom through the limitations, because I think you're able to be more in touch with yourself, where you end and others begin, and what it is you really believe in at the end of the day. And your heart is bigger for it. All right, well, thank you so much, Pile One. Thank you for being here. As always, I would love to know how that resonates, so let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Pile One, I just have like one more thought that I wanted to share, which is, maybe this is obvious, but it's just kind of the taking it a step further. When I was thinking about the themes of your reading, you know, our limitations are the things that actually set us free in the real world, because again, our limitations show us what our boundaries are, and they help us to say no. If we have trouble saying no, it's because sometimes we think we're like a superhuman being and we can do all this stuff, or that we ought to be able to. And if you have trouble saying no and feeling guilty because you're like, I like don't want to do something, but like I should want to do it, or something like that, and so you feel bad letting someone down, reframe that and think about it in terms of just what you can actually physically handle and take care of, and see it more in terms of your limitations. I think it'll help, because you know, if someone wants you to come to a party and you feel bad, you're like, I feel like I should go, it's their birthday or whatever. If you reframe it and say, okay, but if I go, I might be tired and I won't get to do this other thing. Like I won't be able to like work for the rest of that day, or like I won't have enough energy to like go to this other thing, or you know, and if you start thinking of it in terms of that sort of thing, I think that's like a really probably super helpful psychological tool that people just know intuitively, and I feel like I personally in my life am just now learning that and stuff. I tend to feel more emotionally attuned to others versus thinking about like, yeah, the practical stuff. I mean, anyway. I think this Four of Pentacles is definitely asking you to protect yourself too. It's saying, realize your limitations, think about things in terms of that, of what you can do realistically and what you can't do. Not what you would prefer to do, but what you can and can't do. and reframe the way you respond to the situation and put it in those terms. And that will help you protect yourself. Because I think Spirit is asking you to protect yourself here with this Four of Pentacles. It's asking you to draw your resources inward to you and think about how best to protect those resources right now. It's acknowledging that you are in a very tricky, precarious, stressful situation. Spirit is saying, yes, you are. And if you don't protect yourself, if you don't pay attention to this kind of, these boundary issues, like, it's, you know, it's not gonna get any better. So it's teaching you this lesson. All right, thanks, Pile 1. Oh, did I say Pile 1 or Pile 2 at the beginning of this video? Oh well. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. How are you doing? Are you ready for your reading? You got number 25, Emergence. All right, I'm gonna look at this. So the guidebook says, and again, this is the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. It says, the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. I'm just thinking right now of how when you take away ambition and ego and fear and all of those things that are associated with identity, how you're left with this pure childlike creativity. And it's in that place that you find out who you really are and what you're really capable of, and that your gifts from God can really flourish. Emergence can be described as the process of coming into being, the arising of something that wasn't there before. When referring to personal development and growth, the emergence of a grander expression of ourselves is often a result of extensive inner work and deep release. In order for real personal growth to happen, we have to be willing to let go of existing belief systems, frameworks, and labels that define and limit us. Recognizing potential can take us on an exciting inner journey of discovery and integration. From this place of openness and discernment, we can truly unfold and emerge as a new human being. The deep and rich blue at the core of this activation represents the drive for clear expression. The purple signifies the insights that come directly from our connection to Source and that are now available to be expressed. And the yellows and oranges indicate the creativity and power with which we can do so. And before I move on, I just want to read this last passage. Take a breath and close your eyes for a moment. What was your, quote, "when I grow up, I want to be" declaration? Did you realize this childhood dream? What other aspects of yourself would you like to give birth to? Are there any new aspects emerging that you have never expressed before? Keep a journal so you are aware of your growth. So, that point of emerging creativity is directly connected to our childhood self that knew. It knew who we are. It knew what we wanted in life, what we were meant for. Are you connected with that? something tells me you are or you're about to be. All right. You got the little Universal Tarot with these are tiny cards. They're really cute. So, for your overall theme of this reading, I got the Four of Wands. So there's a sense of fulfillment, happiness here. And the wands are always creative. And my feeling was that this had to do with creative expression of some kind, or just a discovery of something, a rediscovery of something in you. For your current circumstance, I got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. For your current challenge, I got the King of Swords. For your lessons, the lessons from this experience, I got the Two of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And the cards, the messages from Spirit, I got the Three of Swords and Temperance reversed. Okay, I'm gonna have to walk through this just a little bit. I'm gonna set these aside for now. So your current circumstance is one, I think, in which this possible emergence has not made itself known yet, because with the Knight of, the Knight of Pentacles, I can't remember if I said Knight of Swords or Knight of Pentacles, but anyway, it's the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And the Knight of Pentacles is a slow-moving card, but with it reversed, that often will indicate something that is just come to a complete stop or isn't moving at all, is going nowhere. So your current state is one where you're feeling stagnant, or you're not moving, or you, for whatever reason, you're not able to act on this new emerging possibility, or you're not able to act on some of your dreams. I'm sorry, Pile 2. I'm sorry to see that, but we're gonna figure this out. The challenge is the King of Swords. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind when I see this is that you're feeling psychologically intimidated or challenged by a kind of authority figure in your life, or the remnants of one within your own psyche. And it's inhibiting you. And what the King of Swords stands for is, it can be a masculine energy, so if that resonates, maybe it could be like a father figure or some sort of a masculine role person in your life. But it's a critic. You know, the King of Swords is somebody who judges and uses their intellect and their mind, you know, and that kind of part of us to decide the value of something. It's someone who passes judgment. Or it's someone who calls the shots, or through whom decisions have to be made. It's someone with power over your situation, regardless of the type of power, whether it be in your head or in your actual life, but it's having a real like manifested outcome in your actual world, since you have the pentacles here. Physically, in reality, you are not moving. You are stuck in place. And there's some sort of an intimidating outer situation that's inhibiting you. That's how I'm reading it. It's funny, the King of Swords here has armor on. He has chainmail. He is not willing to be vulnerable. He's interested in outcomes. And because it's swords, I feel like this is very much, again, an indicator of the world of the mind. I feel like this is some sort of a psychic reality, just as much as it might be a real reality for you. The Knight of Pentacles wears armor too, but it has a little bit of flair, a little bit more color and expression, I feel like, with the hat. And either way, there's a lot of invulnerability here. Both of these figures are, you know, in the kind of knight's protective shields and clothing, and so there's a lot of inhibited energy. The lessons involved. There's someone in your life, or there's people who you work with. You'll know who this is, or a group of people who you're being asked to share with, or you are put in the position of sharing with. And those can potentially be very good relationships for you. Just a second. We've got Wands, which is creativity. And then we've got Pentacles here for you. So I really think this has to do with work and sort of creative work. Or your creative potential in your work, whatever that be. I mean, everything is creative, you know. I think you're learning that if you offer yourself sincerely from an emotional place and from an authentic place and sincere place, people are there to meet you. I think you need to switch. Okay, here's what it is. This card is about Pentacles, which is about practicality. It's about like, what can we actually make? what has worth, like what is going to make money, what is valuable. You're thinking about what you do in the world of an economy. And I think the lesson you're learning is that the way to really find a bliss and a creative flow is to not think about it in that way at all, and to think about it from an emotional place. Don't think about the practicality of what you're doing. Think about what you're doing. Create a new economy for yourself, which is an emotional economy. And if you're not feeling good at that moment, then you're not on the right path. If you're not feeling emotionally connected with your work, if you're not feeling a soul connection to it, then you're not on the right path. You're learning that people will meet you and want what you're doing and want to connect with you when you're coming from an emotionally authentic place, not from the world of the mind. And when I say emotionally authentic, it can also be personal. So that's what makes something valuable. That is what makes what you do valuable, if it is coming from a place of feelings and sensitivity, your personal emotional experience, and if you're willing to share that with people and be vulnerable. I mean, here we have total feminine energy. We have this woman in a soft dress. There's no armor involved. They're comfortable with themselves, they're open, and they're confident. I almost want to say, if I could make almost any observations about this Knight of Pentacles reversed, this is someone who is very insecure. Because they're thinking about things in terms of worth, and it's a cruel energy. And of course you're not going to want to share when you've got this King of Swords ready to swipe at everything that, that you come up with. But the softer, more feminine Cups energy, this emotional energy, where at the end of the day, I mean, you can look at our material reality as only an illusion, but emotions, feelings, sensations, the inward experience is kind of the only thing that is real. And that's what you're learning to tap into. That's what is emerging. That is where the childlike self is. The self that doesn't care if they get made fun of, kind of, because they just are enjoying what they're doing. It's the self that knows that it's worth it, and that, there'll be somebody, not everyone maybe is going to understand it, but there's going to be somebody there who does. Speaking of, your messages from Spirit were pretty interesting. You got the Three of Swords, which is a card of heartache. And you got the Temperance reversed. I'm going to take the Three of Swords first. and analyze these one by one. I think Spirit is acknowledging that this isn't easy. It's not easy to share yourself with others and to make yourself vulnerable. It's a very painful process, and it can be very painful too in its execution. There's a tarot reader I really like who talks about how basically this Three of Swords is like being ultra sensitive and feeling, just having that kind of sensitivity that is different and unique. This is an artistic sensitivity. And this is acknowledging too, just how painful it is to be in that childlike state of wonder and imagination and exploration and have that cut down and have that ridiculed. I'm wondering if you've had that in your life at all? People criticizing you, people judging you harshly, people not understanding the value of what you're doing, people not being able to celebrate your successes with you or not understanding what it is what you care about. Those things are all extremely painful, and they can make your inner self not want to put itself out there for obvious reasons, because they're anticipating when they do that there will be pain there. There will be the sword. I mean, here we had the King of Swords, ready to cut you down, but I think that's either a remnant of the past or something in your mind, or if it's real in real life, I don't think this person actually has the authority that they're pretending to. They don't know what they're talking about. They actually are badly informed. They're kind of in their own ego. They're thinking of it in the wrong way. With the Temperance reversed, the Temperance is the card of the artist. It's the card of flow. It's the card of sensitivity, profound sensitivity. And with it reversed here, I mean, that's indicating an artist, I think, who is letting their sensitivity really, again, inhibit them. And there's a lack of trust here. Temperance is also about an element of balance and receptivity. This angel has stopped being receptive to the outside world. They've stopped responding to it. They've gone inwards because of the pain. And there may even be, with the Temperance reverse, there may even be addiction here, or abuse of substances because of the sensitivity and pain. But I want you to know that that's all it is. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. I don't think you know how artistic and sensitive you are, and how, childlike. I mean, you have a beautiful childlike innocence that you're able to retain and reach when you need to. But I don't blame you for being scared of doing that. And wanting to protect and wanting to go inwards and like not let people see it maybe, or not share it with people. These messages from Spirit here I think this is showing you why. I think maybe you ask why or what's going on a lot. And this reading is all about what you need to know. And this is why. This is what you need to know. Spirit is telling you that this inhibited creative energy, this kind of imbalance, or it being hard to get into the flow, or misuse of against substances, it has a direct relationship with hurt, with being hurt, with being misunderstood, with being left alone, neglect, sadness, pain, suffering, like loneliness, you know? I don't think you've known a lot of experiences where people were open to you like this, like the Two of Cups, and interested in what you're doing and how you're feeling. But you're learning that that's out there, and that people are interested when you are expressing yourself authentically. And so that's what that child self wants. That's the emergence, is that emotional self is being expressed. And you know, that all kind of sounds a little trite and a little like la-di-da, but it's unbelievably profound. I mean, it's stepping into that power is very scary. It really is. You really are stepping into the unknown. You don't know where it's gonna lead, you know. But there's kind of a creative fulfillment here that is wanting to be a part of your life. And that's what this whole reading is about. I'd like to get one more card, one more message from Spirit. If Pile 2 steps into this creative cup emotional energy, what will happen? So I got the Six of Swords reversed, which is like you stop trying to escape. It's like, for me, this is about getting out of the realm of the mind completely. You're stopping the cycle of the mind. All right. This is like if the Six of Swords upright is about finding peace, I feel like the Six of Swords reverse would be like a kind of stillness that is not even reactive to things. It's just like, I'm my own I'm my own barometer here. It's like you stop reacting, you stop escaping. You stop. That's what it is. The Six of Swords is about escape, right? You're moving away from something. You're trying to like leave something behind. And with the Six of Swords reversed, it's like you stop needing that escape. And you can just sit with what's in your heart. Emergence can be described as the process of coming into being, the arising of something that wasn't there before. Something new is wanting to come into your life. Congratulations, Pile 2. That's really beautiful. Please, please, please approach what you're doing. You know what this is. You know what this is. Please approach it without thinking about the outcome, without thinking of how much money it will make, without thinking about success. Please approach it from a creative, heart-centered place. That's all you need to do here. And know that its emergence will not be painful. Its emergence will be met with love and other open-hearted beings. I think it's time to shift out of the realm of the mind and just trust your heart. All right, and you, if I didn't say it already, I think you have potential here. I mean, you're the Queen of Cups here with your lessons. So, I mean, that's the wisest kind of creative, one of the wisest creative energies in the deck. There's a lot of potential here that just has been inhibited. So I think that's what you need to know. I hope that was helpful, Pile 2. I would love to hear your comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe. And let me know what you want a reading on next time. All right, take care. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. How are you doing? Welcome to your reading. All right, again, I'm using the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle Guidebook. So when I was picking your cards, which are right here, they came out so easily and so effortless. Like with some of the other two piles, there was a little bit more like tentative energy, or like I was getting multiple cards sometimes for certain aspects, and there was something about your pile that just kind of flowed in this uncomplicated way, and just kind of a stress-free way or something. So you had Realization, card number 37. And 37 adds up to 10, which is a number of completion. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. Our heart-centered truth. Yeah. This is also making me think about how our truth and our unique point of view has to be expressed through some conduit, whether it's a creative project or another role you have, something you're advocating for, or something you're trying to give voice to, something you're trying to create a conversation around, how you experience your relationships with others, maybe a position you're being put into where you have to speak your mind. You're given some sort of a platform in this life by which to show and share your unique voice. So I think that's maybe what this reading is about. It's the meeting of the outward with the inner potential, Realization happens on many different levels. Internally, we realize something when we become aware of that something is a fact. Externally, we realize something when we achieve or fulfill a dream or desire. On a spiritual level, we refer to self-realization when we are able to unite body, mind, spirit, and soul to step into our fullest, most authentic expression of who we really are. The center of this activation draws us into an infinite inward journey through the layers of our awareness. The green indicates the presence of the heart, which provides wisdom and stability needed on this frequently quote-unquote trippy path. This is the cardigan. The rich, bright blue coloring on the outer circles represents the ability and desire to express ourselves and to be realized in the outer world. The water represents the emotional realm, the heart's guidance system, and the orange and yellow stand for expression, creativity, and self-awareness. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Do you realize the magnificence of who you are and the scale of what you can create while you are here in body? This realization or belief that you are an expression of the creative source makes you a powerful manifester. What is it that you want to accomplish? And that feeling that I had about this being something where you're thrust onto a platform, you're given an opportunity in some way to show yourself or speak your mind. There's a sense here that you never knew it could be as big as it will be or as it can be. So, what is the theme of your reading? I got the 7 of Swords reversed. Interesting. Your current circumstance is the 9 of Wands reversed. Your challenge is Temperance. And then your lessons are about the Knight of Swords reversed. Messages from Spirit is 3 of Cups reversed. Okay. Okay, this is definitely a situation you're in, an opportunity that is playing out for you right now or coming up in your near future. I'm going to set this aside for now. There's a lot of sort of okay, I'm getting like a leadership energy, or like you're the one making decisions, or that a lot about the circumstance hinges on you. Like people are coming to you to, you're an integral part of this. But your current circumstance is the 9 of Wands reversed. I'm sorry. I'm a little stumped. The 9 of Wands upright is a card where we're almost at the end of a whole journey, a whole process, a whole kind of project. And we're feeling kind of overwhelmed, we're feeling tired, we're feeling like we have to be very vigilant to just push through the end of it. And the 9 of Wands reversed is interesting because it's kind of like you've reached this penultimate point with the 9 and you've gotten really far in this process. But you're not really, it's like you're not really facing something. There's almost a feeling of like you're not stepping into the stamina and the sweat that this situation requires. You're evading it a little bit, or you're not letting it stress you out. You're not stepping into the full responsibility of something. It's like you're avoiding. There's an opportunity here, and there's almost a feeling that you've done all the hard work. You're avoiding the moment a little bit, or you're stepping back or stepping out of it maybe just a little bit. The Temperance card came up here as your challenge. You got this, and you also got the 3 of Cups in your reading. And with both of these here, I'll be honest, this feels a little bit like, I mean, I talked about this in pile 2 briefly, but the Temperance card can be about, as a challenge, when it comes up in that position, it can be about sort of overindulgence, and it speaks about like, you know, drug and alcohol use a little bit. And there's a feeling here like maybe you're being challenged by some escapist kind of desires. Or this tendency to kind of not want to step into the moment fully because you do that by kind of indulging a little bit. Like you're there, but you're kind of a little bit not there because of this sort of habit. It could be something else too. Anything that kind of takes you out of the moment and out of your power in the moment. There's a funny, uncanny feeling I'm getting looking at this Nine of Wands, where like from the outside, it looks like you're doing everything right. You look like you're doing the job. But internally, it's like, you know, you're not quite standing in it or something. And it almost feels like this is like something only you can see. And you kind of know with this Temperance as a challenging card, you kind of know that you're not completely in the flow as you could be. And you're not as completely present as you could be. And the Temperance card is also the card of artistic expression. And it's like you know that you're not really giving it your all, but other people might not notice that. Because you've achieved so much. I mean, you've gotten to the Nine of Wands, which is pretty far. You're pretty evolved in whatever you're doing. But you kind of know personally that there's a feeling like, maybe this is a little harsh, pile 3, but this is just what you need to know. You know, there's a feeling that maybe like, this was the theme of your reading, the Seven of Swords reversed. And the Seven of Swords upright is someone who's just being kind of smart and using kind of guile or wits or just thinking creatively about a situation to deal with it. The Seven of Swords reversed is almost someone who doesn't want to put in the effort and is kind of trying to escape that. There's something about you right now that you're trying to escape a little bit of the stress of the moment. I don't think it has to be stressful, but I think inherently where you find yourself, it could be a high-pressured situation, or against something where you're expected to step out and show yourself or be a leader of some kind. There's this feeling that you're putting yourself on the line, or that you will inevitably do that, or that you're being asked to do that, or that's where this is leading. And you've got, where you're at right now is you've got a little bit of trepidation about that, and you're not fully embodying that. And in some ways in your life, you might be kind of deceiving yourself or being a little bit slippery. Again, with the realization card, sometimes there's moments in our life that require us to step into a version of ourselves to meet the moment. And that's where the moment of discovery happens. That's where we meet that higher version of ourselves, when we're willing to take the leap and to step into that place. There's a feeling here a little bit of like a trepidation to do that, and you kind of want to like circle around it and take kind of the easier route, maybe, instead of confronting it head on. You're evading it. You're evading something, I think. And with the cards coming out so easily, it's kind of like that, it's like that slipperiness. It was just like, I don't know, there was a, yeah. Maybe you're wanting things to be more easy or something. So this is the lesson, and this is the message from Spirit. The lesson is the Knight of Swords reversed. Which upright is somebody who's taking impulsive, rash action. It's also somebody who's just moving pretty fast into something. And reversed, again, it's like somebody's just not moving in the direction. They seem to have a lot of drive and a lot of energy, but they're not going there. I don't know where they're going. There's not commitment here. Message from Spirit, the Three of Cups reversed. It's not everything. I'm sorry, I mean, this reading is kind of turning into sound a little harsh, but not everything is going to be like easy and fun. I think this is telling you like you need to get right with this. You need to like commit and move in the direction of like meeting this head on, meeting this challenge, going for it. And like you're not going to get anywhere if you don't do that. And you need to stop escaping. Other people in your life, I don't know, I find this, maybe I'm just speaking to my experience here, but maybe you relate. I find that the things I set out to do don't afford me some of the leisure time and fun and just kind of social, like partying and stuff that other people might do. But I will do it anyway, even though I know it's like taking away from the goals I have. And there's just a feeling that like, because I have higher goals sometimes, I just have to cut certain things out of my life that other people can afford to do or can take the time to do. And I think that's just what this whole reading is giving me, is the feeling it's giving me is like, actually, like, you need to step in to the moment and make a commitment to it. And I don't think you can take the easy way here and the route that feels fun and pleasurable and be able to meet this moment. There's a lot of enthusiasm here. There's a lot of wit and intelligence and creativity, a ton of creativity, and a very impressive amount of achievement. I wanna pick one more card. I'm gonna ask the cards, like, if the Nine of Wands were upright and they take on the challenge, what will happen? Okay, I don't know, we got the Four of Cups, so it's kind of reiterating to me that, like, yeah, you're not, something's on offer and you're not taking it. Spirit really wants you to know that you're reluctant to step into the full version of yourself right here. Yeah. You really need to get real, get straight with yourself, and see this rationally. And really, it's time to say goodbye to some bad habits, I think, or some social habits that kind of, you know, that either you don't have time to like indulge in, or there needs to be more discipline. But Spirit really isn't answering my questions. Yes or no, do they have it in them? So I got the Nine of Cups, but I got the Nine of Cups reversed. So this is saying yes, but again, with the Nine of Cups reversed, I mean, I can't say this, I'm so sorry, Pile 3, this is turning into a tough love reading. I thought it was going to be an easy breezy reading, but that's what mimics what the lesson is that it's not going to be easy breezy. And if you're looking for it to be that, then you're not going to be able to like meet the moment and rise to the challenge. The Nine of Cups reversed is, yeah, this is a really indulgent energy. And there's all these cards talking about how you're avoiding something, and with your current habits, you're not standing in your full potential. You're kind of there for all intents and purposes. It kind of looks like you're there from the outside too, but I think this is gonna catch up with you. And I think you have to get real with yourself and get right with yourself and create some discipline in your life and sort of embrace the difficulty of this. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. This is, you know in your heart that this is the path forward now for you, and that this is the journey. You've come so far, you've done so much work. And again, I just can't help but feeling there's like so much potential here. And in fact, what I'm realizing now is that the cards came out in such an easy, breezy way because I think you think it's going to be really hard, but if you just take that step and actually put yourself into the position that you're scared to step into, it's actually going to be so much easier than you think. You just have to give up this one thing, and you know what it is. It's a habit you indulge in. It's something you used to escape. You've made it this far, okay, but you're not headed in a direction right now that's going anywhere. You're kind of just, yeah. You're becoming aware of your heart-centered truth, which is you are being challenged. You're being asked to step into this challenge and commit. so that you can become aware of your highest expression and who you really are. And the beauty of life is that we can decide what we want, you know, but you're never going to be able to escape your heart-centered truth. And the other thing is, like, if you're comparing yourself to others here with this Three of Cups, please stop, because if you look into your own heart, you know who you are. And you might be saying to yourself, like, well, other people do this, or other people can get away with this, and they seem fine, or whatever. You're not grabbing hold of the moment and fighting for it. Comparing yourself to others, positively or negatively, is also not going to help you, because it's going to keep you complacent. Again, outwardly, it looks like you're smart. It looks like you have enormous potential. It looks like you're working hard. It looks like you're ambitious. But inwardly, you know something's off. And you know you're not fully embodying this potential. And so the choice is yours, pile 3. I think that's all I have for you. Thanks for listening to that. I mean, I obviously would love to know what you think and hear your comments. And if you got anything out of this reading, please consider liking and subscribing to support me. And I would love to hear from you, like, what other subjects you'd like me to cover. And I'd love some feedback too, just any critical feedback, or how I could have maybe delivered that message a little better. Anything like that would be so great. I wish you the best, pile 3. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I almost want to, like, it's just like I want to, like, I have to pick one more card or something. Like, that was so dramatic and such a, like, intense message from Spirit. Page of Swords. I mean, this is a person stepping up to the moment. They're courageous. They're taking a risk. They're kind of on their own. And they're taking a chance. And so, and they're living in the moment. They're also unrestricted or unbounded by anything else. This is the card of, like, somebody, like, like letting their freak flag fly a little bit, I think. All right. Well, okay, that'll be it. I'll stop there. And again, please let me know what you'd like to hear about next. Bye.